Om Shanti. Yes, and sweet children, if you want to celebrate a meeting with the Father, if you want to become pure, become true spiritual lovers, remember no one but one, the Father. Question: why is the status of Brahmin who are to become deities even more elevated than the status of deities? Answer: at present, Brahmins are true spiritual social workers. They give human souls injection of purity and yoga and take the skinning boat of Bharat across by following Srimad. They make the people of Bharat who are residents of hell into residents of heaven. Deities do not do such service. They experience the reward of the service done at this time. That is why Brahmins are even more elevated than deities. Song: our pilgrim is unique. Om Shanti. You children hear the song. We are human beings. A soul is called a soul when it is in a body. It is living being. Souls come from the supreme abode. They come here and adopt bodies. This is the field of actions where we come to play our parts. The Father says, I to have a play a part. I have come to make impure ones pure. At present, not a single being in this impure world is pure. Then in this pure world there will not be a sign being. The golden and silver edges are pure and the copper or iron edges are impure. Only the purified Father comes and gives all of you the technique. O souls, you have now completed your parts of 84 births through bodies. During this time, you experience happiness for half the time and sorrow for the other half. Sorrow begins gradually. At present, you have a lot of sorrow. There will be many more climates to come. All the corrupt at the present time, no one has yoga with the Father. Souls have forgotten themselves. The Father now sits here and gives the example of a lover and beloved. A girl and boy do not know each other at all, yet when they get engaged, they become a lover and beloved. That marriage is for boys. They are said to be an pure lover and beloved. There are also other love like Laila and Mojri, etc., who simply fall in love with each other appearance. They continue to look at each other but do not include in boys. Even while doing their work, the beloved would appear in front of other, just as Krishna used to appear in front of Mira. That one is Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the beloved whom all we souls are lovers. Everyone remembers him. There are many lovers, whereas the beloved of all is one. All human beings are lovers of that one. People perform devotion in order to meet God. Devotees are lovers and God is the beloved. How can there be a meeting? So the beloved of everyone, the Supreme Soul, comes here. He has now come and he says, if you children want to meet me, you must constantly remember me alone. Have yoga with me and become my lovers. There is nothing but sorrow in this kingdom of Ravan. It now has to be destroyed. I have come to make all of you pure. This is your last word. Therefore, if you remember me, your sins will be absolved. You will then be liberated from the punishment of Dharmaraj. The incorporeal Father says, my beloved children, it is now the time of settlement. Each of you has a burden of sin on your head. You must now become pure. Chariot souls, only by having yoga will your sins be absolved and only then will you become pure. Charitable souls, the Father says, you have been sinful souls of 63 words in the kingdom of Ravan. From impure souls, you are now being made into pure charitable souls. Deities are pure and charitable souls, sinful souls worship pure charitable souls. This is now the last word and everyone has to die. So why should we not claim our inheritance? Why should we not become pure charitable souls? The greatest sin is to include in vice. Vicious ones are called impure, whereas viceless ones are called pure. Sannyasis too are impure, and that is why in order to become pure they leave their household. Then when they become pure, everyone bows down to them. When they impure, no one would bow down to them. There is no question of bowing down to anyone here. The Father gives remote to you. Children, consider yourself to be souls. We have come here to play our parts and we will then return with the Father. All physical pilgrims now have to end. You have to return home to the land of peace. While people are on a pilgrimage, they remain pure. Then as soon as they return home, they become impure. That is a physical pilgrims for a temporary period. You are now being taught the spiritual pilgrims. The father says, by following me, Srimad, you will not become impure for half a cycle. In the golden age, Radha and Krishna do not marry each other in order to become impure. There they are pure. Children are born in there through the power of yoga. Just as you become the master of the world through the power of yoga. Children there are never devilish because Maya does not exist there. Children there only perform good actions, and those actions are natural. Here in the kingdom of Ravan, your actions become sinful. This play is precedent. All of you, Brahma Kumaris and Kumaras and Kumaris, are brothers and sisters, and so you are grandchildren of Shiv Baba. You received your inheritance of the kingdom of heaven from the grandfather. The father now comes and enables both males and females to have yoga with him. He says, while living in your household, remain pure. How show such courage? Although you live together, do not let the fire of lust ignite. If you live together and remain pure in this way, you will receive a very high status. You have to become celebrate like Vishnu Pitamai. The requires effort. People think that this is very difficult. However, only the Father teach you the method. God Shiva speaks. Krishna is not God. He is human being with divine virtues. Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar are residents of the subtle region. The status of Brahma is higher than that is of Vishnu, just as the status of Brahman is higher than that of the deities. Because it is time you are spiritual social workers, you give the souls of human beings the injection of purity and yoga. Only you make Bharat into heaven at this time. This is why they are a greater pursuer of those who make it that. Although you become deities at the present time, you are Brahmins and do services at deities. You will not be service there, you will simply rule. Your service is to make Bharat, which is the residence of hell, into the residence of heaven. This is why it is said, salutations to the mothers, the Shiv Shakti army. Mama is shown ready a lion, but it not like that. You are lionless because you can cure the 5 vices. You make Bharat into heaven. This is the ablative service. This is why there are many temples in the Shakets, but there is only one main one. It is a Shiv Baba who gives your power. All Paris belongs to him. Then the name of those who became his helpers are also mentioned. The Pandava male are also called Maharathis, elephant riders. Both males and females are needed. This is the whole path. You must never adopt a various guru. Householder, if a householder that is impure person meets the impure person, he can never make him pure. They call themselves followers of the sannyasis, but they don't become sannyasis themselves, so that is a lie. No, nowadays there is a lot of dissipation. Householders become gurus, but they do not observe the discipline of purity. Here the Father says, become pure, for only then can you be called the children. You will not be able to receive the kingdom unless you become pure. So you must definitely have yoga with the Father. Then whenever you happen to believe in, for instance, if you believe the Guru Nanak, you will go into the Rigim. Only those who take these techniques and become pure at this time will go to heaven. Guru Nanak cannot be called a deity. Deities exist in the golden age. There is a lot of happiness there. Those of the other religions do not have about the happiness of heaven. Only the people of Bharat exist in heaven. All the rest come later. Only those who are the become deities will become that. At this time, people worship the deities Lakshmi and Narayan and say that their religion is Hindu religions because they have become impure. They have forgotten their religion and call themselves Hindus. However, you belongs to the deity religion. So why do you call yourself Hindus? There is no such things as the Hindu religions. It is because they have fallen. There are very few who come here and take these techniques and then become deities. They are the ones who change from human beings into deities. Even if they only take a little technique, they will go into the ordinary subjects. By belonging to the Father, they will enter the rosary of victory. You now have to become spiritual lovers of the beloved. In this golden age, you will be physical lovers, and then iron age you to the physical lovers. Now at the confluence age, you have to become spiritual lovers of the one beloved. The Father says, continue to remember me by including in the vice. You will receive 100-fold punishment. If you fall, you should write, Baba, Baba, I have dirty of face. The Father says, children, you now have to become beautiful. Krishna is called Samshundar, ugly and beautiful. That soul has become ugly at present. Then by seeing the fear of knowledge, he he will become beautiful. He will become beautiful for 21 births and he will then become ugly. This is the precedent play of the ugly and beautiful one. It takes a second change from ugly or beautiful and half a cycle of change from beautiful to ugly. You are ugly for half of cycle and beautiful for half a cycle. The one beautiful travels is Shiv Baba and all the birds are ugly. They teach you yoga in order to make you beautiful. There is a first class natural beauty in the golden age, because even the 5 elements are satapradhan. Your bodies are the beautiful. There is the artificial beauty. Purity is gold. Many come Baba and make a promise of purity, but some fail in other paths. This is the godly mission. You have to submerge the sunken Bharat. Ravan has sunk boat on the Bharat and Rama has come to take the boat across. It is your intellects that you will go to heaven and build places studded with the diamonds or jewels. You will shade your bodies and become princess and prince and princess. Only those who are Baba's children will have this is taught. This is God's court, God's family. You sing, you are mother and father and you are your children, and so they become a family. God is the grandfather and Brahma is the father, and you are brothers. Sister, you receive your intellect and heaven from the grandfather. You then lost the Baba comes to return it to you. You know belong to the Father is a practical way. In order to claim your inheritance from him, you are children and Brahma and the grandchildren of Shiv Baba in a practical way. So this is called God's gathering. You are also called the God's family. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now new found children, love remembers and God morning from the mother and the father Babdada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says to the father namaste, namaste and namaste. Essence of the dharma. 1. You have to become completely pure, that is beautiful, by sitting on the pier of knowledge. Purity is the number one beauty, and so that you must imbibe this beauty and claim the right to be called a child of the Father. 2. At this time of settlement, remove the burden of sin that is on your head by having remembrance of the one Father. In order to become a pure charitable soul, perform evaluated actions. Blessing, may you do service while being aware of your combined from the and become an embodiment of success, just as a soul and a body are combined and the future Vishnu from is combined. In the same way, the Father and I, a soul, are combined by doing service of oneself and of all souls while being aware of this. From you will become an embodiment of success. Never say you are so busy doing service that the chart of your own stage becomes slack. Let it not be that you go somewhere to do service and when you come back you say the Maya came. That you had on of moon or where disturbs the way the explained service is to do the combined service of the self and everyone else. Slogan, to be ignorant of limited desires is to be very wealthy. Om Shanti. Invisible evaluated version of Matashiriji, explanation of the incorporeal world and the corporeal world. We now know from God himself that there is an incorporeal world and the corporeal world. The incorporeal world is called Brahman. That is the world of the great element of light, which of the place of residence of our souls and the Supreme Father, the Supreme Souls. God spanned us souls, but from that incorporeal world to the corporeal world to play our parts, just as there is a tree of souls of Brahman. In the same way, there is a tree of souls that bodies in the corporeal world. The example of non-living tree is given of how the roots of the tree is underground. In the same way, the human world tree is called the introverted tree because the roots are human world are above the incorporeal world. Each religion has its own separate section there. There is not any light of the sun and moon there, but the world is itself a constant light, and the extremely suitable corporeal is physical elements. The corporeal world consists of 5 elements: other sky, wind, air, fire, water, and earth is the physical element, and water is the more suitable than that. Even more suitable, subtle than that is fire. They are even more subtle is wind, air, and then the element of light, that is the incorporeal world beyond the physical world, where we souls live, egg-shaped in the point from with our Supreme Father, the Supreme Souls. So the physical world